Hey guys, what's up? This video is going to be all about the tuck press. It was actually one of the first presses I learned because I was always more strong than flexible. So we're going to be doing a lot of strengthening. Alright, well let's get to it. The tuck press. So hands shoulder width apart. Walk the feet in. Start with the thighs to belly. Get this compression going. Activate the legs. Pull the low belly in and up. Start with your shoulders bent. And then rock the weight forward. Straighten the elbows. Lean with the shoulder. And lift. And always try to come down with control. Always, before doing any kind of handstand work, make sure to warm up your wrists. So let's start with some wrist circles in one direction and then the other direction. And now pretend you're flicking water off your fingers. Alright, now let's interlace our fingers and do a little bit more wrist circles in one direction and the other, and a little wave, change direction. Now let's go into tabletop. Okay, so put your palms out sideways and gently rock back and forth. Now the fingers are facing the knees and gently pull back, giving a nice stretch to the wrists. Now turn your hands facing the other way. Push down gently. And last but not least, a little wrist push-up. These are great. You could actually do them in tabletop. You could also do them in plank, which is a little harder. But it's great for strengthening the wrist. Okay. Now let's move on to warming up the shoulders and scapula. We are going up, back, down, and forward. So elevation, retraction, depression, protraction. Going backward. Try to really feel the scapula moving. And forward. Okay. And now let's do a little arm circle. One direction. And forwards. It's really important to take care of our joints because they're just like a machine. You know, if you don't use them, they get all rusty. And forward. Okay. Now we're going to do some flossing. If you have a strap or a long piece of fabric or a broomstick, grab it now. Make sure you find the right length. What's important here is to keep pulling the core, activating the core, pulling the low belly in and up. Trying not to move the chest. We're trying to only move the arm. So go all the way up until you feel some tension, and then that's where you have to push. And then go back. The same thing with going back around. Up and down. This pushing movement is really important. Alright, and push. Why is mobility important in a handstand? Because if we want to have a straight line, we want the shoulder to be open, right? And if we don't have mobile shoulders and our shoulder is, let's say, like this, we're going to compensate with either curving the spine, flaring out the chest, and it's just going to be a lot harder. So we really want to work on opening the shoulders and having nice, healthy, mobile shoulders. So, at least 180 degrees straight as possible, and then push, push, push. That is the most important thing you could do, is push. Now, going back to the strap, or if you have a yoga block, let's talk about the scapula. In a handstand, ideally, we want the scapula to be protracted. Protracted is when they are spread apart. So protraction, retraction when they're close together. Protraction, retraction. Spread them, bring them closer together. Let me show you from the back. Protraction, retraction. You could also do this in tabletop. So, retraction and protraction. Retraction, protraction. It's really good to do these movements over and over again so that you build muscle memory. Because once you get upside down, it's a lot harder to think about it. Alright, now let's talk about the tuck press. So, ideally what we want in a handstand is the wrist, shoulders, and hips aligned, right? But when we're pressing, especially if we don't have the flexibility, we are going to get this leaning action because we're only going to get lift off when the hips go over the shoulders. So if your hips are here, it's not going to happen. So we want to be doing things that are going to be strengthening this lean. Just so you could get a feel of it, let's try a couple of these leans. So hands are shoulder width apart. Pull the low belly in and up. Bent elbows, and then go forward. Straighten the elbows, protract the scapula, and lean. Alright, let's do 5 more of these. Inhale, go forward, and lean. And lean. 3 more. Last one. Alright. Now from here, let's go into plank. So, step your hands forward, feet are back. In the plank, we also want to remain with the scapula protracted and lean forward as much as possible. Let's hold this for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Keep pulling that low belly in and up. 4 and 5. Okay, let's go back to down dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And again, go into our plank, our leaning plank. And hold it for 1, 2, 3. Remember at the protraction, 4 and 5. Exhale to down dog. We're going to do 1 more of these. And back to our leaning plank. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Having a nice strong Bakasana will also help you in your tuck press journey. So doing some long crow holds is also a good idea. So if you can't do crow with straight elbows, you can always do it with bent. And let's hold it for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go down. I'm going to do 2 more of these. Maybe try it with straight elbows. 1, 2. Remember at the protraction. 3, 4, and 5. Whew. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Almost there. 4 and 5. Whew. Okay. And moving on to some core work. Okay. So going back to our plank. Remember, in plank we want the whole back body active. So push through the heels. Tuck the tailbone, low belly in and up, knit the ribs together, And now bring the right knee to your left elbow. And let's hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale the leg back, and now the left knee to the right shoulder for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's go to down dog. Take a couple of breaths, walk it out. And again, right knee to left elbow for 5. Breathe. And exhale the leg back, and left knee to right elbow for 5. And go back to down dog. One more of these. You ready? Let's go. Right knee to left elbow for 5. And exhale. And last one, we're almost there for 5. 1. And let's take a little rest in child's pose. And inhale, come on up to tabletop. And let's lay down on our backs. A great option if you can't hold crow pose, or if you just want to do some exercises on your back, is reclined crow. So this works the same as an upright crow. What you really want to focus on is the compression. So we're thinking thighs to belly, hollowing out the tummy, so low belly in and up. Arms up, raise your shoulders. And let's hold this for a couple of breaths. Breathe. And exhale the shoulders down. We're going to do 2 more of these. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Smile. And exhale. Take a couple of breaths. You could sway the legs back and forth. It's a beautiful day. You're doing great. Now, this time we're going to level up, and we're going to go from reclined crow into hollow body. Now, the one thing to remember about hollow body is to keep your low back glued to the floor. So that may mean that you have to have your legs higher up. Don't try to go really low unless the back is glued, keeping your spine safe. Okay, so inhale, the shoulders up, go into reclined crow, and exhale to hollow body. Inhale, exhale. Let's do 10 of these, so 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! You feeling that? Give yourself a big hug. Okay, now I think we're definitely ready and warmed up to get on our hands. So let's go over some different drill progressions to get that tuck press. Malasana hops are awesome. So let me show you the first progression. You don't have to go very high. So starting in Malasana, go hop. It could be a low hop and frog. and go forward, hopping, just to get yourself acquainted with the movement. And let's go back. This also builds a lot of strength. And hopping, inhale, exhale. Now moving on from this, we will go a little higher and try to kick your bum with your heel. Yeah, nice froggies. And the other direction. Are you feeling it in your quads yet? Burn, baby. Whew. Now, one of the things that helped me the most in learning how to press is doing negatives, so slow lowers. So going from, let's say, a tuck handstand and lowering as slow as possible into either crow pose, if you can, or back into malasana. Now, you will have to do this over and over again, but don't worry even if you don't get it, because every time you do this, you're not only building strength, but you're also building muscle memory. So then your body will just learn this movement and you won't have to think about it, it'll just happen. Okay, so let's talk about the slow lowers. So going into tuck, you want to really think about elevating through the shoulders, protracting the scapula, compression, thighs to belly, and suck the low belly in and up and lower. Woo! Okay, let's try that one more time. Really try to activate that deep core TVA. It acts as a brake. So hollowing out the belly, pulling it in and up, really helps you to control the movement. Whew. And really think about rounding the spine, because that helps you turn into like this little ball, and it also helps you to control coming down. Another thing you could do is try to elevate your hips, because this is often a problem when it comes to press. I started using yoga blocks, well, first a chair and then yoga blocks, and then eventually once I built flexibility, I was able to do it from the floor. So let me show you how it's done with a little stool. So get on top, make sure it's sturdy. Remember about the hand placement. Hands are shoulder width apart, starting with bent elbows, and then straighten the elbows, protract, lean, and go up. I promise if you keep repeating this drill, eventually you will do it from the ground. And last but not least, we can use the wall. I was actually using the wall to learn how to handstand and to press for at least a year and a half. So don't worry if this doesn't happen right away. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes a lot of patience. But I promise that if you keep working at it, you will achieve your goal. Okay, so what do we need to know about pressing, tuck pressing with the wall? So place the hands shoulder width apart, not too close, but not too far, maybe like hands distance away from the wall. And then press the back of your head. Now this is really important. Don't press the top of your head, because this risks injury for your neck. The back of your head goes into the wall. So starting with bent shoulders, bring the thighs to belly. Inhale, straighten the elbows, press the back of the head, one leg, then the other, and go up. And then from here, remember to always come down slowly. Okay guys, time for a cool down. Thanks for being with me. And remember, this stuff is hard, so be kind to yourself. It really just takes a lot of practice, and with time you will build the confidence and the strength, and you will be able to do it just like I did. Okay, well, interlace your hands and place them behind your head. And take a deep inhale and exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Inhale up, head back, open the chest, untuck the tailbone, and exhale, tuck the tailbone, turn to a little ball. 3 more of these. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. Okay. Now let's go into Malasana. And place your wrists in between your calf and your thigh. And sway from side to side, putting some pressure on those wrists. They did a lot of work today. And now move it down onto your forearms. That feels good. Okay. All right. Now, let's go into tabletop. And on an inhale, raise the right arm up. And exhale down. Place the right shoulder and cheek on the mat. Give a nice little stretch to the shoulder. You can place the left arm on the low back or maybe catch your right thigh. And come up on an inhale. Now leave your right forearm on the mat. And with your left knee, gently press down, making little circles, giving yourself a nice little forearm and wrist massage. Okay, left side, back to tabletop. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale the left shoulder and cheek onto the mat. You could stay here or place the right arm on the low back or maybe reach your left thigh. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And inhale, come up. Leaving the left forearm on the mat, bring the right knee closer and massage your forearm. That feels so good. Making little circles, massaging the wrists, maybe the hands. Okay. And now keeping the thighs above the knees, low belly in and up, bring the arms out forward and bring the chest down into puppy pose. You could place your forehead on the mat, pushing the hands into the mat. A nice active stretch for the shoulders. And come up on an inhale. And thank you so much. See you next time.